Welcome to the mathematics class. Last time, we were looking at how we can solve equations that are involving exponential functions. Even today, we are going to continue looking at how we can solve equations which involve exponential functions. Let us look at some of the examples. If you've been asked to solve the equation So you've been asked to solve the equation which is 2 to the power x plus 2 to the power 1 minus x being equal to 3. You've been asked to solve this. And whenever you've been asked to solve this, it simply means that you have to find the value of x, which is this x and this x, which is interesting, right? So we already have 2 to the power x plus 2 to the power 1 minus x. And if we remember last time when we looked at about the laws of exponential functions, we discussed that if two exponential functions having the same basis are dividing, then we subtract the exponents. So we can rewrite this question as 2 to the power x plus 2 to the power 1 divided by 2 to the power x being equal to 3. Now that we have this, we are interested in this 2 to the power x and this 2 to the power x. Let us write this in a simpler way. Okay, so let's say, let 2 to the power x be p. Then we are going to have p plus 2 over p being equal to 3. So this is a fraction. Then we have one number here and this side. So let us get rid of the fraction. And how do we do that? So we are going to multiply throughout by p. So we are going to have p multiplied by p plus 2 over p multiplied by p equal to 3 multiplied by p. So that we are going to have p squared, this p and this p cancels. We have plus 2 equal to 3p. And we can write this as p squared minus 3p plus 2 being equal to 0. Now what we have this side is just the quadratic equation. So the same quadratic equation which we have, we're now going to solve it. So we have this quadratic equation which is p squared minus 3p plus 2 being equal to 0. So there are different methods of solving quadratic equations. You can either use factorization, you can use completing of the square, or the formula method. But when we look at what we have, let us consider factorization. So we're going to find the product and the sum. So for us to get the product, we simply get the coefficient of the variable that is raised to the power 2 multiplied by the constant. And in this case, the coefficient of p squared is 1. So 1 multiplied by 2 gives us 2. Then the sum is just the addition which is on the middle. We have negative 3. So now that we know the product and the sum, we're going to look for two numbers. That when we multiply those two numbers, it's going to give us what we have as the product, which is 2. And when we add those two numbers, it's going to give us the sum. And those two numbers, we have negative 1 and negative 2. So that when we multiply negative 1 multiplied by negative 2, it will give us positive 2. And when we add negative 1 plus negative 2, it's going to give us negative 3. So we can rewrite this as p squared minus p minus 2p plus 2 being equal to 0. Here we're now going to factorize. So let us look at the first part. We have p squared minus p. There's something that is common, which is p. So p, then we'll going with p minus 1. And the main purpose of us to do this is to make sure that what we are going to have in the brackets is going to be the same. The other side we have negative 2p plus 2. We can still factorize the negative 2. So we have negative 2, then in the brackets we have p minus 1, which is equal to 0. And this is very good because what we have in the brackets here and this side is now the same, which simply implies that we can pick one of them. So this is now going to be p minus 2. Then we have p minus 1, which is equal to 1. Now we can find the value of p. So this is going to be p minus 2 being equal to 0, or p minus 1 being equal to 0. P is equal to 2, p is equal to 1, which is now interesting. Now that we know the value of p, we're now going to find the value of x. So let us wrap the other side. Mind you, where we are coming from, we had to let 2 to the power x to be p. So we are now going to substitute. Where there is p, we're now going to substitute with 2 to the power x. So this 2 equal to 2, p equal to 2 is now going to be 2 to the power x being equal to 2, or 2 to the power x being equal to 1. And we want to find the value of this x. Looking at what we have here, it simply tells us that already we have the same basis. And if something is left like this, it simply means that the power is 1. So since we have the base of 2 and we have the base of 2, which is the same, we're now going to deal with the exponents. So this is now going to be x being equal to 1. Now let us look on the other side. We have 2 raised to the power x being equal to 1. And from what we discussed last time, we learned that any number or any base raised to the power 0 is going to give us 1, which makes our work easier. So if any number raised to the power 0 is 1, and we want something to have the same base with what we have this side, so that is going to be easy for us to find the value of x. So this is going to be written as 2 to the power x being equal to 2 to the power 0, because 2 raised to the power 0 is 1. And now that we have the same base, the job is done. We're now going to have x being equal to 0. And from here, we can now conclude that x is equal to 1 or 0. And you're good to go. And after knowing the values, you can even now substitute them back there and try to work out with the equation and see what you're going to get if it's going to give you a 0. So now that we have looked at this, I'm going to leave you with a question so that next time we're going to pick it from there. So this was question 1. Then question 2 is for you to solve. So question 2, we have 2 to the power 2x plus 1 minus 129 multiplied by 2 raised to the power x plus 64 equal to 0. So I want you to solve this equation so that next time when we come, we're going to pick it from there. Thank you.